we'll be mostly discussing prescriptive analytics and how it can drive business decisions. So I'll be talking a little bit about myself, my experiences, and then we'll dive into what's prescriptive analytics, what is its value proposition, what are the type of prescriptive analytics, and some use cases related to it. So this is a small picture, me, my husband, and my 5-month-old. This we took last week. And so I currently work with Walmart. I'm a senior data scientist, and I joined Walmart after I graduated from UMD in 2021, December I graduated, and I joined Walmart after that in 2022. And currently I work with Walmart. So mostly my work it's all about prescriptive analytics. So we use optimization. And in optimization, what we do is we optimize the shelf spaces. As you go to Walmart, you will see a lot of shelves there, a lot of items on those shelves. So we optimize the space, we optimize the choice of products that could increase the performance and efficiency, everything, so that we have more profits. So that's what you want, right? And that's my work about Walmart. And then before coming to UMD, I was a senior software developer. So I've worked with Infosys, where I was mostly into coding and tech stuff. Yeah. So let's start with prescriptive analytics. It's the area of business analytics. It's related to all of the areas of analytics. So we start with prescriptive analytics and understand what is the data about. Okay, what happened? We have this mean, median, mode, whatever you do in your Python classes or professor takes in Python courses, what you start with. You understand the data, you get a data set, you understand the statistical aspects of it, you understand the business aspects of it. That is what happened. You have a past data, and we are talking about the hindsight. Okay, then comes diagnostic analysis, where we see why it happened. We want to know the reason. Okay, and then after knowing the reason, having the past data, we predict the future. That is predictive analytics. Once we know what's happening, what's going to happen, we prescribe business decisions based on those decisions, based on those variables. So we have a decision. Okay, so we have a decision to make. Suppose, what is the optimal route to take? That's a decision question we have. Objective is to minimize cost and maximize the speed. And we have certain constraints. We have certain, like we can only follow roads, or we can have airplanes in this. So we have certain constraints, budget constraints, route constraints that we have. So we have our past data, we have our forecasted data, and then out of all those data and certain 10 to 12 decisions, we have to pick the optimal decision that will guide outcome, desired outcome, and desired decision that we want to make. So that is prescriptive analytics. Okay. What is the value proposition? It provides operational efficiency on the ground level, such as like scheduling shift for workers or adjusting machineries for efficiency. Or we have inventory management or marketing campaigns. So these things are become very optimized and very, profit making through the use of prescriptive analytics. We can know about the product, its average cost, and the profit we are making from each of the product in real time, because we can build system using all the analytics, and then on real time you can recommend products that you want to place if certain products are out of stock. You can just on the go, you can select products that can replace that one. Or certain products are more used. So you will place more facings, more number of amounts of that product into the shelves so that people don't face those out of product scenarios, out of stock scenarios, and we have higher we attain higher profitability and higher shows, right? And then it also helps us increasing, like if we forecast with accuracy, once you have this, predictive analytics is very helpful. So once you forecast your sales, once you forecast your average footfall in each of the stores, for example, you know what to expect, and then you can make business decisions for each stores. Like each stores are different. Some have, because of the weather reasons, some stores you can see more of the swimsuits, and those things will be more selling. The other stores you'll have jackets selling, because in US we have like a variety of weathers, and each store is different. So knowing data, predicting that data, and then using that data is very important. So here we are getting the dynamic understanding of things using prescriptive analytics. So we already talked about how it is helpful in financial and operations. So now, what are the types of prescriptive analytics? So basically, till now, what used to happen was, we know the data, everything was intuitive. Yeah, okay, this is Christmas time. People will like more of like Christmas gifts. We'll have more of
Recording in progress.
more of the decorations for the Christmas tree, more gifts. But then this is just intuitive, and we know what will sell during this time. But this is rule based. We know we have past information. We have like, okay, this is we'll start on 20th December. The shelves will be organized then. Okay, till 25th, everything will be sold off. Then we'll put things into sale after that. So it's a rule-based system. It's more intuitive, and it may or may not lead to the optimal. And then it requires a lot of effort to rethink and replan, because you have a lot. The organizations are very big. So you need to analyze every process. You have to have discussions, basically, because people who are working in the ground level, they know exactly what's going on. So for heuristic approach, you always need to connect with people, ask what's going on. And if that person is changed, that person left the org and a new person replaces, you have to start from scratch, because now that information that was present with that person is gone. So that is the heuristic approach which people have been following for prescriptive analytics. But now everything is transitioning to optimization, where we have everything documented. We have mathematical models that take each constraints, whatever it sees. So we have data, we have predictions, we have optimized models that do predictions. So with all these things, we built an optimization model, so which has an objective, what we want to minimize, maximize. It has all the information we need, and it leads to better possible results. So now, going back to the Christmas example, we have seen from the data that people start asking for the products starting 1st of December, not 20th. So stocking it beforehand would help much, will be much better. The data says that people still buy the Christmas gifts after Christmas. So what happens is, we are still selling those things 10 days after Christmas, instead of just removing them and keeping them on sale the day after Christmas. So these things are much more clearer. You get a better understanding. You have minimal effort, because it requires minimal effort in base of constraints, because it's just a mathematical model, and you just plug in one more constraint over there, saying like, this we want to maximize this, minimize this, and so it requires minimal effort change. But the thing is, it is complex to build and slower. In the case of heuristic, you just said like, yeah, let's make this change, and this is the date we are going to implement it. It's into stores the other day. But for prescriptive, you need to have a lot of pre-work. The building of that mathematical model is sometimes initially to know which model would fit. That's a challenge. Sometimes, like in R, we use Pyomo for Cplex for small models, and now we have so many numerous models which are more faster, and which are for each solutions. You can use different models, so that is a little bit challenging, but still it leads to the best possible results. Everybody is moving from heuristic approach to optimization. We have a lot of places where heuristic approach is still getting used, but it's slowly just the move to analytics and pure optimization. So we'll go through some of the examples in each cases. So as we said, supply chain optimization, Walmart uses prescriptive analytics in its supply chain management to streamline inventory and delivery process. Their advanced algorithm predicts what items are going to be in demand in different areas, and they optimize accordingly. So what's the impact? This approach has led to like 1 day shipping for all the perishable products, even few hour shipping, and then for the Walmart Plus members, and which has increased the efficiency in inventory management, reduced overhead costs, and then it has improved customer satisfaction drastically. We can, in personalized marketing sector, we have Netflix. Everybody uses Netflix. Netflix uses prescriptive analytics to personalize viewing recommendations. So it analyzes customer preferences, watching habits, ratings, and then optimizes the content, getting the content based on the user, so that it optimizes the engagement rate, basically, with recommending the content that is user based, and then it decreases the churn rate as the user feel more engaged and engrossed in whatever content is showed to them, as it is tailored to their viewing pattern. In healthcare management, we can take the example of Mayo Clinic, which has leveraged prescriptive analytics to improve patient outcomes by analyzing wide range of patient data, by providing personalized treatments. And it has become more efficient and improved operational efficiency in patient management. So in the financial sector, we can take the example of American Express, which has used a lot of prescriptive analytics to, to save millions of dollars of potential losses and increase trust among cardholders, because they have improved their security measures using that data and the prescriptive analytics. So these were a few examples of prescriptive analytics and how it is used in the industry.